Some books are read and forgotten, but the Bhagavad Gita, it reads you. It is not only a book of India, it is a book of humanity, a scripture of history, a song of spirit, and a guide for every heart that struggles. The theme of Bhagavad Gita is simple but profound: to overcome blindness of ego, to rise above attachments, and to unite human consciousness with God's consciousness. It does not ask us to escape life, it asks us to live life fully but without clinging. This is the yoga according to the Bhagavad Gita: to act, to love, to serve, and to live life freely. The Bhagavad Gita is part of the great epic, the Mahabharata, the longest poem ever written with over 1 lakh verses. Tradition places this war around 3102 BC at the dawn of Kali Yuga. It was sage Vyas, the divine historian, who preserved it. Even today, the ruins of Dwarka proves that these were not just myths but the living reality. The Bhagavad Gita works on 2 levels. On the outside, it is history, a dialogue which is happening between Sri Krishna and Arjuna just before a great war, Mahabharata. And on the inside, it is allegory describing the map of human consciousness. The Kurukshetra is not only a battlefield in India, it is a battlefield within you. Pandavas are your noble virtues, Kauravas are your restless desires, Arjuna is your struggling soul, and Sri Krishna is your eternal spirit within. And that is why the Bhagavad Gita is eternal, because it describes a war which is happening inside each one of us. Who is Sri Krishna? He is God in human form, but also a king, a warrior, a statesman, and a yogi. He ruled as the king of Dwarka. He guided kingdoms with his wisdom. He meditated deeply as a yogi. He fought to protect dharma, and he played flute, reminding us that the divine life can be joyful. For the modern world, Sri Krishna's life is the reminder spirituality is not withdrawal, it is living life fully, wisely, and a deeply centered life. Long ago, King Shantanu ruled the kingdom of Hastinapur. He first married the river goddess Ganga, and their son was Bhishma, the grandsire of Mahabharata. Later, Shantanu married Satyavati, and from their line came Vichitravirya, whose sons were Dhritarashtra and Pandu. King Pandu married Queen Kunti and Queen Madri, from whom 5 Pandavas were born. Pandu was cursed that he would die if he ever physically united with his wives. However, in her youth, Queen Kunti had received a boon from sage Durvasa that she could invoke any god by a mantra and he would bless her with a son. With Pandu's permission, Queen Kunti decided to use the mantra. First, she prayed Dharma, the god of righteousness, and from his blessings, Yudhishthir was born, calm, wise, and truthful. Hence, he represents truth, justice, and integrity. Then Kunti invoked Vayu, the god of wind and strength. From his divine blessing, Bhim was born, strong, brave, and full of energy. Hence, he represents physical power and inner courage. For the 3rd time, Queen Kunti prayed to Indra, the king of heaven. Through his blessing, Arjuna was born, focused, disciplined, and full of devotion. Hence, he represents self-control, skill, and faith guided by divine will. After Queen Kunti gave birth to 3 sons, Pandu felt very grateful. But he also wanted his second wife, Madri, to become a mother. Queen Kunti, being kind and understanding, agreed and taught her how to use that divine mantra with faith. Queen Madri then prayed to Ashwini Kumaras, the twin gods known for their beauty, wisdom, and healing powers. Through their blessings, Madri gave birth to twin sons Nakul and Sahadev. Nakul was handsome, gentle, and pure at heart. Hence, he represents beauty, kindness, and simplicity. Sahadev was wise and calm. Hence, he represents intelligence, clarity and understanding. In this way, both Kunti and Madri were blessed and 5 divine sons were born: Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul and Sahadev, the 5 Pandavas. They were not ordinary men, they were divinely blessed beings embodying higher spiritual forces within us. On the other side, Dhritarashtra, the blind king, was married to Queen Gandhari. She once performed severe penance while pregnant, but out of impatience, she struck her womb. This produced a mass of flesh which was later divided into 100 pieces and preserved in jars. These became the 100 sons of Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, known as Kauravas. The eldest son was Duryodhan, followed by brothers like Dushasan. The Kauravas represents lower desires and restless tendencies. That is why they are shown as 100 brothers, because desires multiply endlessly. If you fulfill one desire, 2 new ones appear. This is the truth of human life. Virtues are few but strong. Desires are many but weak if you stop feeding them. That is why the Mahabharata is called the inner war. Every day you wake up on your own battlefield. Will the 5 Pandavas of virtue rule your life, or will the 100 Kauravas of desires take over? This is the real Kurukshetra. Not out there in history, but inside you right now. The Bhagavad Gita reveals the secret of creation. From primordial nature, Prakriti, stirred by spirit, everything came into existence, like thoughts, energy, body, and life itself. From one came many, from silence came sound, and from spirit came form. That one divine source expressed itself in countless ways as all beings, all worlds, and all creation. And just as river returns to ocean, all beings return to God. Our Kurukshetra today is not outside, it is inside. Work stress, relationship, fears, desires, doubts. This is our daily battle. The Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to live in this world without being crushed by it. That is why still the Bhagavad Gita is handbook for life thousands of years later. And so the stage is set. A blind king Dhritarashtra represents the blind mind, 100 restless desires the Kauravas, 5 noble virtues the Pandavas, a struggling soul Arjuna, and beside him Sri Krishna, the eternal guide. The armies are ready, a battle is about to begin, and Arjuna's despair will open the gate to the greatest wisdom ever spoken. And this is where the Bhagavad Gita begins.